No permissions, birth looked up, taking flight flowing. Knows dissidence, balanced in dark and light. Steadying the agreeable index plight. Crypto tuning up, yup, keeping it right. Yup, the meme that's on the rise. Agreeable intense. One on a Pulsechain's pride. Opening those minds with all the positivity. Marching in its time. Cadence in the grind. Agree to disagree. Yup. I thought of time leaving me up, it's it right. Freedom and prosperity. The destination and the flight. Lighting up dad's farm. Opposed to that, nope, rule. Firing up them charts, yeah, flying straight and true. Wink at the foes, cheer at the woes, yep. Stack sats gliding through the lows. The truth will set you free.
What is up, guys? How we doing? I'm just gonna do a little hello to you guys real quick, and then we'll jump right into it. How are we doing? Nice. We got a couple. Ahoy, XT Armstrong. How we doing? And Scrubheads here, ready for some alpha. Wearing the Nope hat today, representing. I got my Pulsechain and my black T-shirt on in honor of or H, but it does have a pocket. Other than that, what is up, guys? Let's get into it. Of course, I got to mention um, the biggest news of the day. The U.S. House passes three key crypto bills ahead of August recess. So I wonder what's going to happen in September. That's what it makes me feel like. Like we might have a little doldrums in August. Who knows? But I wanted to play this little AI thing that Cointelegraph has now. So hopefully you guys can hear it. And I'll put myself down in the corner and see this right here. It reads the article for you pretty much. So let's give it a listen. I hope you guys can hear that. I'm pretty sure you can. Hopefully you guys kind of heard some of that. That is, you know. Anyways, if you guys didn't hear it, what I thought was important to it, they passed a law after days. Digital Asset Market Clarity Act. There was 216 yays on the Republican side. The Democratic side was 78, which was kind of um, like I'm surprised at that. So there's a lot more Democrats more bullish on crypto than you think. And then there was only 134 nays. So that was pretty cool. I haven't dove in on research of these and what they actually mean and stuff like that, but maybe in future streams I might dive in and give a rundown. I don't know if I have the time to read those bills, but yeah, that's pretty much pretty cool. That is the biggest news of the day besides Ethereum. SharpLink Gaming boosts Ethereum holdings by 18,000, and SharpLink Gaming has total reserves now of 326,000 ETH. Um, so if you go over to look at strategic ETH reserve.xyz, you'll notice a very important Bitcoin company. Yeah, that's right. I said Bitcoin company right above SharpLink Gaming with a lot of freaking ETH now. Why is a Bitcoin company getting into ETH? Are they like gonna crash Bitcoin later on in like a couple years and just totally do ETH? Who knows? We'll see. But a little speculation there is like, why would a Bitcoin company? It's right here. A Bitcoin network company for Bitcoin mining. Do your own research, things like that. But a BTC treasury is in the ETH strategic reserve now. Second company on ETH building a reserve. It knocked Pulsechain sacrifice to number 4. All right. So that should tell you right there that a Bitcoin company building an ETH reserve should show you the future of where Bitcoin could go. It could be like digital gold, and that's all it's going to do. So is ETH going to be the silver to the gold, unlike Litecoin? You know, I knew Litecoin's supposed to be the silver to the gold in the digital era, but like, I don't know. ETH has a lot more capabilities than Litecoin, more than Bitcoin. Has a lot more, way more programmable, everything. And you can really see the ETH Foundation's still dumping. Yeah, I know. It's only been a week since we heard about all this. So, Bitmine Emerging Tech. All right. We got to keep our eye on them. I'm not going to do it every week, go over these guys anymore, but everything looks like it's ready on a breakout with MSTR and Sharp Links just going. And these guys, I'll show you the chart. I don't want to spoil nothing, but it could be a good buying opportunity in the midst of this. But so Bitcoin's over $1 trillion, and they just had their first Bitcoin. Bit Digital's down here too, but this is specifically a Bitcoin mining network company. So they were founded in 1994, by the way. If you go on TradingView, which is really weird, like they're already working on this stuff way back then. Or 1994, 1995, something like that. But if you go right here and you look right here and you go to more financials, this is Bitmine, Bitmate, Bit whatever. It's the same company. Bitmine, right here. This is them straight from the strategic reserve. I just clicked right there, went to their site, and I went to the ticker right here, and it says they got founded in 1995 right here. Bitcoin didn't come out until you know just no. I need to do more research into things like this and more Bitcoin companies and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a little weird. Anyways, um, yeah, let's exit out of that. Now we go to SBET, and it is just. I missed my chance to buy it down here when I was streaming about it because I thought it would fill that gap, and it just took off. I thought it was going to fill this gap. It still might, but yeah, this if you would have bought it, dude, like, oh my god, you would have been up 3x. Yeah, 3x. And I know I do the Bitmain and all this stuff in the beginning and lose viewers sometimes just because, they want strictly Pulsechain stuff. But you know what? I got to cover this stuff because, it's a strategy of streaming. Goes in the algorithms, hit like, subscribe, share it out, whatever you want. But, you could have made a 3x. And hopefully it comes back down to where I thought it would. It just blew past where my blue line was. I'm going to leave it there, see if I was right, see if I'm wrong. But I can see if I just put a fib on this SBET, and I know a lot of people are just crypto centric, but let's just go down the bottom here. Close enough. And if ETH tops out, let's just say, SBET could top out around $500. There's another 10x right there, maybe a little bit more. You know what I mean? Who knows? Um, anyways, just a little, target value there. I really don't know where SBET's going to go, but that's just dropping a fib and so on and so forth. But that really, the Bitmine immersion tech, really think Bitcoiners want to get their position in ETH for Bitcoin companies, so they at least have a leech attached to that to where they can leech off and like fuel Bitcoin maybe or fuel their business because Ethereum has more capabilities than Bitcoin. Who knows? They want to vampire attack it. So I think Pulsechain needs to get in that same kind of mindset of staking the ETH and just leaving that there to do the same thing. We need to keep that position there. I'm going to keep saying that. Like that 166.3K ETH they say right here, which it's not. It's more than that. It's like 171. I don't know where these guys get their information from or whatever, but I think we still should accumulate. We could have been accumulating for the past 2 years. I don't know any legalities behind that. If you have to set up trust, whatever. But who knows? But that could have been happening for 2 years, and it could have just been stacking and stacking and stacking, like these companies are going to do. But maybe it's not the strategy that the big dogs and Pulsechain want, right? It is just a treasury. There could be other wallets on the side with just ETH been doing that because this is a public wallet. They don't want it to be shown be doing that because people try to front run. You name it, there's always a strategy. There's always a game to be played. You know what I mean? In this. So that could be a thing. There could be Godwell could be like staking this stuff, and just gaming the system like SharpLink and Bitmine, immersion tech. And speaking of the tech, Mr. Fast Abdul, he is here for the tech, and I appreciate him stopping in. How are we doing? So I just think that we need to keep our hold on Ethereum in that aspect, even with the Treasury wallet. Like, if it never gets rotated in the Pulse chain, oh well. Anyways, moving on. We'll talk about Pulse chain here in a little bit. I want to keep going to the chart right here. And today I'm not going to show the MicroStrategy chart on its own, but SBET is looking pretty good. But I just want to show MicroStrategy on top of it, and it looks like it's created this cup right here and handle. So MicroStrategy could be looking in the next, probably by September, it could be looking to break out and cause Bitcoin to blow up. You know what I mean? So speaking on that, hold on. I need this one right here, BMNR. So BMNR right here, immersion tech, right? Oh, I already have it there. It's MicroStrategy, but let's get rid of this and go to SBET. This one might be a good thing to look at. So I had all this set up and I screwed it up while I was on screen. Anyways, this is Bitmine immersion tech off the back of SBET, right? So this one has from the bottom went up 4,000%. Like, holy F. You know what I mean? That is nuts. So, like, what's going on here? You got to think. Like, they could be rotating from MicroStrategy into this. Who knows? There's a lot of games in Wall Street they play. But what I wanted to show is, like, look at this. There had to have been insider knowledge with this. Had to have. I'm not for sure, but, like, look. Little, SBET announces, and then all of a sudden these guys pop up, and then, little insider pump right here. Bitmine emerging tech. I don't know, but then it outperforms SBET. Like, pretty sus on my part, but who knows? They could have made like an internal announcement or memo, and I don't know. I'm always sus like that. But then right when Bitmine Emergent Tech does its thing, look at SBET. It just keeps going up. because ETH's going up, so it makes SBET go up. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That's my conspiracy theory. But the RSI is on the mid level on Bitmine. So it is probably, if you have any money in Robinhood, whatever, just chuck a little bit in there. Who knows? But I would say on the SBET side, you'd probably want to, if you can get a little pullback, let's just go to SBET alone. Um, and just trash that one. If we can get a little pullback to like maybe $25, or at least fill this gap right in here, like 29.30, you might want to pick it up there. Who knows? But I might have just missed this one because I was waiting for this little purple box to fill. Because usually these boxes fill, but I don't know. This is the smaller market cap stock, so yeah. Um, that and Bitmine Gaming is two stocks you want to pay attention to for the strategic reserve. And I hope we could stay at number 4 unless more companies come in and just keep buying ETH up, bro. Like Ethereum is probably going to way outperform Bitcoin, even if Bitcoin's outperformed ETH for the past 2 years. You know, how many Bitcoin companies are doing the MicroStrategy thing? I don't know. Maybe I should look into that for the next video or something. But we have to pay attention to the big dogs, and Pulsechain SAC is a big dog. And another thing is, like, if Richard had ETH or whatever, what if he like did some strategies? You know what I mean, or stuff like that to make his bags bigger privately. Who knows? I don't know. I hope you do know. Um, yeah, nobody knows right now. But talking about that, let's end the SBET news and stuff like that, and go to the Pulsechain stuff. Like, yeah, we passed some bills, this and that. SBET's looking good. Looked like it had a little resistance line right there. MicroStrategy's looking like a cup. You know, it's probably going to pull back to a handle, or it's just going to break out because Bitcoin's breaking out. So we know what Bitcoin's going to do. So let's look at BTC. All right. Look at the bit stamp. Ooh, man, look at that. Top of the parallel channel. Look, we're so close to that. We could be due for, I don't know, guys. It looks like we could be going up a little bit more. We'll see which target hits. The parallel channel has pretty much already hit already, but the inverse head and shoulders here hasn't hit to 144,000. And if MicroStrategy breaks that cup, that all-time high again, you know Bitcoin's going to go, because MicroStrategy can beat DCA into Bitcoin. So Wall Street's coming back in. So could it be a top of Bitcoin? It could, but since the companies and everybody's getting involved, and we got the rest of the year, we could see it keep going. I mean, we'll probably pull back at 150 and go down to 125, fill this area again, right in here, and then continue up to 180, and then Wall Street's got control of it now. So yeah, sell your bags to BlackRock and take your US dollars if you want to sell your Bitcoin. But if you, with the real boys and girls in crypto, you overall on Pulsechain or Ethereum or some of the other layer ones like Solana or whatever. But yeah, RSI is a little bit high, so I I really think it's probably going to cool down till September. It's hard to say, really, but since governments are having breaks and August break and stuff like that, it kind of makes sense. September they come back to work, give people a buying opportunity, or they're just going to get on break and just buy, and front run everybody, But the bill is passed. Could be a topping area. Who knows? Clarity Act. We need to read into it more. But yeah, RSI is a little hot and heavy. It needs to cool off. We're at like what, 72, so we could have one more little push up and then come back down, but we could stay up here for a little bit, like over here. but it does take a lot more weight to push BTC than ETH. So moving on. Let's go to ETH. We're all here for Ethereum, anyways, man. Ethereum looks like the RSI's just went off the chart. I mean, so yeah, we should be cooling off. You know what I mean? And my lines moved. What the hell just happened? Yeah, I might as well just delete my euphoric lines right here on the stream. But that good old maybe I had to click log. That's why that good old resistance line is in effect right here at 3,800, and I think that would put RH at break even ish, maybe a little bit above it. So yeah, I think we're just gonna climb up to this resistance line. To be honest, like I could even put it up a little higher to be a little, like RH will be like it could blow up here, and if it retests that resistance line, that would be glorious, man. Especially if more Bitcoin. Yeah, I'm saying this again. Bitcoin companies invest into it. Reserves for Ethereum. That should just tell you something right there. Like, wow. Um, I know this buddy of mine that has some money, and he will not like the safest bet in crypto right now is like ETH to me. If you have like 20 grand, whatever, like just put three of it in for Ethereum and just hold on to it until 2033. It's supposed to hit 100 grand and or hold on to it forever. But he just laughs and he thinks crypto is a rug still, and he's a normie. So people like we're still early guys. Like seriously, like yeah. He would rather invest elsewhere. I don't know what he's gonna do. He's young though. He's like 20, man. He got some inheritance, stuff like that. But yeah. Anyways, I've been trying to talk him into it, but yeah, he hasn't been. Like, anyways, I hope we just blow up here and the RSI just breaks and like just blow up here and make a strong breakout, and then that's when the RSI resets. Like probably, yeah. If we broke up here, give it like another week, and then we retest by the end of August, and we have a negative August, and Pulsechain starts moving in August because it's correlated with ETH right now. ETH is going up, Pulsechain going down, kind of thing, but the dumper's gone. So yeah. Anyways, that could happen, and I could see both of them going up from September on because government's back and making progress, this and that. So yeah, that's a pretty damn big poll though, and I don't think it's finished. So if we had a poll like that, let's just say, and it flagged out until September, we could, that's easy right there. September to middle of September, we could just go to $5,300, and I think RH's bags would be pretty good. So with that said, let's go to Chairman Buck, see what he has to say. RH is about to break even. Wait for that hashtag fat signal. No fat shaming here, but yeah, I think Buck is kind of bullish on Pulsechain. Um, I know the Liberty Swap people are talking about Liberty Swap. Go check it out. Verified accounts, never Google things, whatever, but go to Liberty Swap at Liberty Swap Fi on X to find the proper link, whatever. But kind of sounds like Richard right here. But I think if you want to properly vampire attack another blockchain, like stake that stuff and just slowly pump it into yours. But that could be a bad move too, because Do you want to show ETH that you're supporting it, helping them, or hurting them? That's the kind of scales of justice there, I guess. Um, yeah. Anyways, Liberty Swap says my plan: selling Bitcoin and ETH at the top, all in on Pulsechain at the bottom. I'm not even joking. And he's got $1. He wants, or Liberty Swap dude, whoever it is, a $1 Pulsechain. That's that's just nuts. But anyways, let's exit out of that. Go to the Richard Hart. Um, he is down only 14% right now. And yes, he does have 171,088 ETH in the Treasury wallet. So they need to get their ass in gear with getting the correct number up there. So yeah, I believe this site over the strategic ethreserve.xyz site, but I don't know where they're pulling from. So yeah, they should be pulling from the same spot, or maybe they missed a few transactions. I don't know. Shit happens. Anyways, Sherman Buck, wait for the fat signal. And yeah, I think it'll come through Liberty Swap, possibly, because it's way more private. RH could have millions and gazillions of dollars, like a quadrillion stable coins, maybe PDI coins, to buy a Pulse chain. Who knows? I don't know. Do you know? Because I don't. We're just speculating here. We're just having fun. Anyways, let's get to the wrap Pulse chain chart. Look at where we're at. Looks like we're building a little handle, a little cup, a little handle. And if that were to break out, I mean, I know I could draw this up a little higher right there. There we go. If that were to break out, it would put us around a little under half sack. Whenever that happens, when these dumpers dump, they just decide to dump. And I think it's the best point of the shakeout right now is like they see Bitcoin at all time highs, they see ETH moving, they see all these layer ones starting to want to get going. And Pulse Chain's not really doing anything. So they just decide to leave, do the thing, which is in the right. And that is the biggest shakeout of all because you feel like you're not going to make it. Even after Bitcoin talks and that comes down and whatever, and we're still not moving, maybe. Who knows? It's a bigger shakeout. So it is a viable strategy, but it is a painful one for the people. For some people, that don't have the resilience like us Pulsechainians do. See? Pulsechainians, not Pulsicans. Yeah, because I'm wearing my Pulsechain. So yeah, that could break out up there, but it is kind of following the lines right now. Deviate a little bit. We could still have one more little down, but I hope we break up. I really do. So that's my target on Pulsechain. This is my bigger target for the bigger, Adam and Eve. It would put us up above, you know, yeah, we'll see. Time be different, but see, that's maybe let's put that line at September. You know what I mean? That'll if we, let's put that line right there. I'll leave it there. I've been trying not to touch these lines for you guys, and that line would actually come up a little up here because if we broke out a parallel channel, yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do this. It would still put us up there. All right. There's that. Let's move this one a little over. Yeah. Oh, wait. Let's just call it next week. It's going to break out. Right, guys? Right, guys? Hope so. Hope so. And hope you guys like my background. Because I do. Anyways, let's move on. Let's move on to you guys want to do Pulsex or Hex? Because Hex is moving. But Pulsex, let's go there. Looks like it's current. Look at that. That looks like another diamond formation, but it's not because it's lower, higher lows right there. So it looks like we have put in a local bottom. That would be it. And that would give us till August to break out of that bad boy, which we could in the next week, right? Right? RSI looks like we can move up higher, just like rap, just like Pulsechain, right? Let's look at the RSI on Pulsechain. So we know where Pulsex is at on the RSI, and then we break out. RSI needs to reset at least to the midline and go for more. Who knows? So we could. This is Pulsechain. We could come up here. We could touch back down, and then we could break out, go up there, and then we come back down, touch, and kind of do something like this, and then go way up real quick, something like that. We'll see. I don't know, or we can just go down and totally reset. Like just go down, fill that head and shoulders, and retest, and then goes down here and just goes all the way down. I don't know, something like that. Well, that's Pulsechain. So if Pulsechain does either of those, we know what Pulsex is going to do, right? And Pulsex is kind of lagging Pulsechain. You can get rid of that line on the RSI. Because you really tell the chart by just looking at the RSI sometimes. Like, okay, you looked at the chart, it's moving up. That's all you need to know. Higher lows. Now look at the RSI, strength, momentum. And that's pretty much all you need. We got the momentum. It looks like it's bouncing off the lines that I previously drew. It's above the zero line, so you missed your buying opportunity down here. Well, it's kind of the same price right now, so it doesn't really matter. But you get the point. Um, so when you lose momentum, that's usually when you want to buy. Like right here, you lost momentum the most, and it looks like it's up a little bit from there. But you even did make a lower low down here, and momentum hit the zero line. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but usually when momentum's up high, you're gonna make good returns. You know what I mean? So yeah, Pulsechain, Pulse X looks pretty good. Probably get rid of this line. We still need to break this short term. Know what I mean? And September's right here. I would expect it to break it by September. So if we come up, pop up, bounce off this line, bounce off the top, come down, something like this. I don't know. And then retest and you want to go, or we just reject and go down more and try to build a bottom like that. I don't know. But it needs to start curving up. Hex, on the other hand, dump up, not out of Pulsechain yet. So it's going to take a little bit for that, but the front run kind of worked out. But you could have made 25-30% more hex if you sold the top and bought the bottom here. But people only got 15%, maybe. To be honest, because you never sell the top and never buy the bottom unless you're like the market maker or whatever. But yeah, catching my drift. But it looks like we did create that triple bottom, I would call this, because a triple bottom has a bottom right here, Bottom right. Well, double bottom. And then I would just call that whole fucking thing a bottom. I don't know. Maybe I'm too zealous. Too zealous. Possibly. But I'm allowed to be sometimes. Because if you're on the daily, yeah, maybe a quad bottom. I'd call that a double bottom right there. Um, Triple bottom, if we go down a little bit lower, triple bottoms are insanely bullish for some reason. The Hex T Armstrong is here for the tech support, and I think Fast Abdul can help you with the tech there at Hex T. Um, and I know I'm doing astrology for men, but at least it's entertaining. At least you know which ways we're headed. We might just flatline, and then all of a sudden a pump comes out of nowhere. Everybody just leaves. Things like that. But here, I think next week will be my last stream for probably 3 weeks. Yeah, because I got some stuff to do. Instead of DCAing crypto at these bottoms, I got some other things I have to work on the house with, maintain, and do things like that. So I'll be like trying to take some space away from crypto, but you know me. I say that and I come right back, just like an abused animal or something, Stockholm syndrome, whatever you call it. You know. So, anyways, Hex looking pretty good. Let's see if it keeps this bottom. Maybe another Hex seller comes out with 600 million and wants to sell it. You know, and Believe in Yourself says the hunt for Red Hextober is in the house. Yeah, I hope it's a green August for us and a green September, and then maybe a pullback in October. But with Hex, I could see this thing going up, getting smashed down from that trend line again, and then going up, and then just start doing that again in August. Be for real. Maybe a little lower over top here. I don't know, but like that, and just could do that, and then just boom. I don't know, something like that. You catch my drift. I like this version a hell of a lot more. You come down and you just go up, retest, and just keep moving. Go up. Like it'll happen, but we can always hope, right? We can always believe in yourself. Believe in yourself. I hope you are referring to a Tom Clancy novel. Yeah, he might be because that would be a better scenario than having red candles in October. I think we've had plenty of red candles. Like, yeah. But yeah, that's Hex. Hex looks like it's pulling Pulsex up at the moment, and Pulsex is pulling Pulsuck up at the moment. So liquidity bonding kind of has a tendency to do that. And if you look at the volume, 4.3 million. We'll go back to Pulsex, 2.3, kind of half of that, and 4.4 from Pulsechain because everything flows through Pulsechain. Always pay attention to liquidity bonding before we go to ink because ink just seems to defy gravity and just pull sideways. So our little cup that we're forming here just seemed to have failed. So I'm deleting that. Adam and Eve, we're just moving sideways, guys. People are selling ink because they get scared. I don't know why people get scared. Like, you're going to get 15% more hex with the risk involved of like just losing 30%. I don't get it. But XT Armstrong did scoop up Hex after the Humpty dumped her this morning. I did. Cool, man. Hex T Armstrong, I'm Comrade Armstrong. Looks like you guys need to team up and make it a Green October. Greentober. We can always hope, right? Um, I have some stables, like not much, just on chain, just sitting there. I'm just building, man. I'm not going to do anything until the money printing comes in because it's kind of just like throwing money into the wind and you're wasting it. And I've wasted enough trying to hold up some stuff. So, yeah, other than that, ink is looking good. Um, I think nah, let's just do it. Let's do it simple. We need to break that line. We need to stay above the blue line, which it kind of has been. We can have wicks down below it, but look at that. You know what I mean? It's just beautiful. Got a nice, like, double bottom. Maybe, could you call that triple bottom? Maybe one, two. Hold on. I've got to start drawing this out. One, two, and a three. I don't know, but we'll see. We shall see. I think if the chain goes up, since this Humpty Dumpty has left the chain, um, everything should go up, and there is no reason to sell your incentive token. I have very little of it, if any, to be honest. But no, I have a little bit in one of the wallets. But yeah, like why sell it when it's just going to go up with the rest of the chain, right? And liquidity is so low. Like if you put $1 million into that, you go on 40, 50%, you know, maybe even more. Like, yeah. But you got to have the sellers gone in order to do good X's. Let's look at most. Most seems to be holding up and broke out. It had a little bit of resistance on the line. It broke out, retested. Now it's moving sideways. Um, Probably still a good spot to throw a DCA in. You know, I still got that line. I think that's the line, the measure move where it could hit. Free-handed that, so it's not quite that accurate, but yeah. Solid X seems to just be getting the gravitational pull. You know, it's back in the parallel channel. At least it's above the midline, so hopefully we hold above the midline. I want to see some upward action on this and retest and hold the top of the parallel channel before more things, more upward momentum comes, you know, and we need to, we need to break that line short term, still the targets up here at like almost $11 on this parallel channel. Um, if it is even a parallel channel at this point, it looks like a mini head and shoulders here, so it could just drop down to six, whatever, but I doubt it. That was the bear case. The neckline close enough. Yeah, it's not going down to 650. But there's that because the little, you guys see it like the, I don't know, maybe I'm just tripping, but yeah, there's a possibility of that. It is just astrology, guys. Do I see anything bullish in this chart? We made a higher high on the wick right here. It seems to just be going sideways. At least I'm calling it like I see it, guys. I really am. Um, so Hex T Armstrong says, "Believe in yourself." That's Cosmonaut Andresa Horowitz to you, or whatever. Hex T Armstrong, Roger. it was Sean Connery that inspires the title. Yeah, I would have to say yep. Anyways, bullishness. Like, here we go. We got this bottom of the wick. I really don't like going off wicks, but if we close below that, we're probably going lower, but it's going to wick up. I know there's a delay on this stuff right now, so we got to break out of that pendant. If you could even call it a little pendant, whatever the hell, if you take this line, and that short term line, I don't know, something like that. Um, you could do that, call it like that, and that would be that bearish pendant, or you could do the diamond pattern again. Not really, because there's no lower wick down here. So yeah, I'm still saying sideways, guys. Hopefully we break up above that line right here, and then I think the upper line on that is the two local tops down there. So yeah, so probably another month. We'll see, guys. We shall see. Nope token. Still moving sideways, right on the midline, just like Solid X. Just chilling, going sideways, like, yeah, like man. Building a nice bottom though. Looks like a flat butt, like the left butt cheek right here is flat. The right butt cheek is a little elevated, not quite as round, so it could be a V-shaped butt cheek over here. But we'll see. But parallel channel, if it breaks out, it breaks out. We could even go a little higher on the parallel channel, just like we could on Solid X, and do the parallel channel, like down here on Solid X. Could have done the higher one, like that, because it bounced off the parallel channel right there, and kind of makes more sense ish, but doesn't really line up with much more besides the bottoms here. So that's why I did the shorter one, because that would be the first target, anyways. Is there we go. Anyways, yeah, you can just do all the astrology you want. Just trying to keep it simple, peeps. Let's look at Yep token. Came down, screwed around, not on the daily. Look at that. Came down. It looks like we're holding ish that downtrend line, but we could be creating, what would that it's something wedge, but yeah, it usually breaks up to the upside, if I remember right. A rising wedge or broadening wedge, something like that. Yeah, but yeah, we're building that, and that would put us from the midline up. I'm just gonna say that's a fake out. This is a fake out, and we're still in the parallel channel, and we haven't broken up. I'm still sticking with that target. 4042. Let's make this line white and this line white. See if it's going to be valid next week. All right. We'll see, because we could even come down and bounce off the bottom of the yellow line right here, and then where they converge, and we just go down even further. It really matters what Pulsechain is going to do and stuff like that. So yeah. Anyways, if you haven't already, please like, subscribe, share it out. If you're on X, go over to YouTube, break the like button, and then just come back over to X and betray YouTube, because I think millennials and the Zoomers are moving elsewhere besides YouTube. So yeah, I would appreciate that if you like this content, whatever. I know not very many people watch, but still we get some good replay gang because I guess the time I stream, whatever. But yeah, that's yep. We'll see if we keep moving up. On the wrap pulse ratio on this one, I like showing this. We have broken out of um, the wedge, but I didn't narrow it. So hopefully we bounce off of 1 to 1 and we keep going up with Pulsechain. But with all the sideways action, people just moving out of the chain, it's doing what it's doing. I only like showing the wrap pulse ratio on yep for the most part is because all the other charts look very similar. Well, if you go to nope, it looks like it's just flattening out when it's compared to flattening out right here, a little bit on the wrap pulse chart. I gotta, yeah, looks like it's starting to flatten out, and mine's just kind of being and then down in. Anyways, yeah, we don't pay attention to ratios in a bull market, anyways. Scuba Steve, just flat. It looks like it's starting to curve up again. We'll see. RSI's midline. Yeah. And for all the SBET stuff in the beginning, like, I do not own any of that stuff, and I should have. I just want to irradiate that. So if you made money off any of that, congrats to you. Scrubheads it always seem to hold up very well against other tokens it's paired with an LP. Yeah, it does. Because there's not much volume. Um, at like $50 volume, that's really low. Um, and it's small market cap. And it's the riskier the tokens, but it looks like it's trying to form. If you like zoom out, it looks like it's trying to form something. First, you got to click log, and then zoom out. You know, it's kind of holding around the previous lower lows right here, way back there. So it looks like it's holding right there. And we had that big P-die debacle right here. That's what it did. And then when you go over to Rat Pulse, this was the solid X pairing, and it just went down. This is P-die debacle right here. And ever since then, it was on a run on the Rat Pulse ratio. So I'm like, it needs a pullback. And it is having that. And yeah, I hope it holds above 1. We'll see, 1 to 1, whatever. But yeah, it's holding up, man. It's the game. Looks nice compared to the other ones. Like if you just go from here on the chart, everything else looks flattened out, and this one has a little pop. Hopefully, it's gonna do a little higher high right here and form a good bottom before it starts to go further up. But yeah, that's all up to Pulsechain now and Pulsex and the LP bonding. You know what I mean? Um, People coming in and moving out, and people always seem to be moving out of a lot of these tokens right now because Bitcoin's going up. So is ETH now. So it's going to be sucking all that liquidity out of the room off of other chains unless somebody's pumping it into those chains. So it is what it is. And if crypto goes to 10 trillion market cap, like they want it to, Bitcoin could go to like, let's just say 3, and the rest of it could, like, I don't know, maybe Bitcoin's 6 trillion at that point, which would put it at like 300K, 400K. I don't know, don't quote me on the numbers, but it could be up there. And then ETH could be at another 15, 20% of that. Trillion, the billions right now with ETH. We're not even, I think, trillion yet. So like each got way further to go, and then all the layer ones underneath that, like skyrocket, and Pulsechain on top of it's just adding to the fire. You know, who's gonna be the first company that builds a Pulsechain reserve? You know, like who's gonna be the first company to build a Bitcoin cash reserve? You know, like because Bitcoin's too overpriced or Ethereum's too overpriced or too overvalued or whatever. You got to think about those things, you know? Like, okay, Bitcoin's at $1 million or 500 grand. It looks like it's overvalued for how slow it is. It takes 30 minutes to send a transaction, this and that. ETH takes 12 seconds. Like, it's a little overvalued, a little gas prices too high, whatever. You know what I mean? It's all the narratives on those things that can draw more companies into the layer ones, especially with the Clarity Act, the Genius Act passing, the Stablecoin Act, and all the stablecoins are on ETH. I mean, it's another probably like for these layer ones, it's probably another 8 to 10 years of waiting to get the good gains. Like, look at Tron; they had to wait 7 years. You know, like it is what it is, and Tron's doing good. You know, just my input. So, with that said, two fucks still building the bottom. You know, it hasn't made a new lower low. It just seems to make this little wedge Let's call that a fake out right there because it kind of is. And, you know, and let's see if it holds the line. We got a little lower low right here. We could call that little lower low a fake out and just call that a wedge. And there you go. But with that in stores is another break to the downside. So I don't know what you like on yet. Um, that could, no, that would break to the upside because it's the opposite way. Yeah. I don't know. Um, I'm keeping my two fucks and I'm like using it for voting power, and I'm swapping my fucks that I earn to two fucks, so we can get the number up to as close as we can to 100%. Two fucks voting power controls fucks. That'd be awesome, because then you get more abilities with the hidden hand, the bribery.io, whatever the hell Festive Duel talks about with that. The hidden hand fork protocol to come on bribery. That's still there. So, like, yeah, we'll see. Um, I still think the APRs are way too high. We need to disincentivize people from two fucks so we can keep accumulating down here. Give me a little more time. No, I'm joking, guys. It's great, man. Like, let's go there. Let's do a little plug for. Let me disconnect my wallet real quick. You guys can't see it, but yeah, I usually do that before streams. Anyways, the agreeable index is at 316. I had a little bit of liquidity back, and at 2K at 316, it's pumping pretty good. But then if you go over to the lock, I would have to connect. Oh, it's earning 11% APR right now. So yeah, you're still earning more than the 0.5% like it was. But this is what you want. You want that to continue to tick up, you know. So yeah, doing good. I like it. It looks like we're just gonna level out down here and call it good. And all of us just bought the top over here, right? Is that the top? No, top's way over here. But no, I DCA right here, I DCA over here, I DCA over here, I DCA right here. Um, yeah. So you tell where my bags are. Anyways, that looks like it's leveling out. Let's look at the wrap pulse ratio real quick. See what it's doing. Kind of going up. Well, kind of. If it finishes loading. I guess that was the full chart. It's going up a little bit. You know, it's not above one though. It was at launch. It was 10 to 1. and now it's like more closer to 1 to 1. So yeah, you get more 2 fucks for your Pulsechain right now. Awesome. Do like that protocol? It is work of Aura Finance, something like that. Yeah, been so long, you know. Look at X Game, probably down because of delays. Nope, it's just flooding sideways. Looking good. A little higher high, little small cup and handle. Hit the break out target, and now it got rejected. It's probably going to come back and retest. Firewall looks like it's going up. People are starting to get bullish on Firewall finally. I might have to buy in again so y'all can dump on my face. King 2 down there building the floor. I don't know why the moving average is on it. But yeah, building the floor. Don't know when it's going to stop, but looks flat. See what I mean about every chart looking flat? Lately, see? Flat. We're at pulse ratio. Firewall. Let's go to that one. Flat. We're at pulse ratio, but flatten up ish. You know what I mean? But still, you zoom out, it's still flat. Bribery. We're at pulse ratio. I think it's going up on this one a little bit, but flat. You know, the dad and the 2 kids trying to play in the playground, but there's a ditch they got to cross, and it's just not building a staircase to cross that. So you don't swap your fucks into prime 2 fucks. I don't personally, because I'd rather have the voting power. I swap my prime 2 fucks into more 2 fucks, so I swap them both, the fucks and the prime fucks. But yes, you can either way with the 2 fucks. What I'm talking about here is over here. You go here, you can put your fucks in here, and you could mint prime 2 fucks. I like 2 fucks a hell of a lot better than prime 2 fucks, but it does earn some sweet yield. I get it, but like for $10 here, $2 there, I'd rather have the voting power. I really would. Like even if the token price is down right now, it's more about control over the voting power over the pools, and then when Bribery gets more used and stuff later on, I can delegate my voting power to Bribery and get paid for that if that ever becomes popular, And I want to know if we're going to be able to delegate to Bribery soon, so I should ask more about that. But yeah, I'm still bullish on this, and I think the Yep protocol is still in the top 25. So yeah. Um, the Yep on Pulse dot Pulse domain. I mean, yeah. And let's just dox myself more. I doxed myself in the beginning, anyways, guys. But yeah, 2 fucks looking good. Hopefully, it doesn't break down again. I really think 250K market cap seems pretty generous to being cheap. Let me continue that phrase. Pink Mist Well went down a little bit. I'm still holding my Pink Mist Well, but it finally hit the target right here, bottom. So it could come down, and let's just move it up. It could come down to there. I don't know, but I really think it's going to come down to there, ish. Let's just midline it. Call it even. That previous toppity top. Dark token, way too cheap. There's like what? There's probably like 200 of these tokens in liquidity spread across different pairs. So, and there's a million tokens total. So yeah, supply shock incoming. A lot of people don't realize that there's like 80% of the dark, or 95% of the dark is all locked up. Something like that. Don't quote me on it. But I do have the t-shirt, you know. If you want a t-shirt, go to pulsechain.com and get yourself an agreeable shirt. You know what I mean? Pulsechainstore.com. You just scroll down. You just keep scrolling. They have some sales sometimes, you know. Just keep scrolling. And look, you got your bullishness on Pulsechain right here. It's amazing. So much value for such a little market cap coin. These guys are cool though. Like, yep, I'm bullish on Pulsechain. You know, but then again, who wants to be agreeable these days? But yeah, dark looking good. Look like it's forming the bottom. Let's see if it's forming that flatness. No, it's drooping down. It was flat, and now it's just drooping back down. Like people are selling their lottery winnings and just leaving the chain, or what? I have no idea, guys. But yeah, it finally hit my target down here, like a long time ago. So I think it's time we bought them. So we're there. We're there. Gelato, flat. Not much volume, but flat. And the Rat Pulse chart is flat. Emit, one of my favorite tokens, is a little too cheap in my opinion for how much value is out there. But just like 2 fucks is too cheap. But look at that. A little swoop up, a little, midline crisis here. It looks like it's gonna just hold it, and it should, and just continue up. I think this thing should be worth at least $4. What do you guys think? You want $4 emit? $4 emit. Like, let's go to all time highs, boys. I'm bullish on TFC too because it keeps outperforming my DCA wannabe entrance, and I miss this one, guys. I couldn't even like put $20 after that big old pump, and he comes out and announces it. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that one, but I'll still shill it. Thoughts on calm? Let's go look. I haven't looked at that one in a long time. Long time. I think this is the right one. I think this is on East too, right? I think it is, yeah. All right. You have to remember the big payday stuff and the native hex stakes and stuff like that. People got quadrillions of these things. I think it's in the quadrillions supply or whatever the hell. But let's look at it's holding that line. And if I were to pull down wannabe fib, it looks like it's going to hit a little bit of resistance there. But it is oversold. So I would probably wait for a little bit of a pullback because it's going to attempt that again. That's just what the fib's showing me. But delete the fib and look at this big tail right there. Kind of looks like a little local top to me, just like that one was. Just like, any big wick like that usually marks something's close. If it fills half of that, like half this wick, so that's if it goes to like right there and closes, it's a little bit more bullish, but it's still like a stopping tail or a star tail, whatever the hell it's called. But let's see on the pulse ratio. Yeah, look at that. the wick. Like, I mean, I think on, yep, if I go to the, no, it's this one. Yeah, see those wicks? Look at the top, the ratio, showing you my secrets. It's just like a upward chart. Nice little pullback. But yeah, calm. Yeah. Um, could be a breakout though. Um, if you go down to the 4 hour, because that's a bull flag. That's a bull flag. And if you take the flag, it perfectly aligns with that target of the flag, but it's a failed one. So yeah, it's a little. Where can I go in DexTrainer to see the supply? So, in order to see any supply of any token on DexTrainer, you want to come over to the side right here. You want to copy this transaction or this contract address, and then go to scan Pulsechain.com, and you're just gonna have to go to the block explorer for it. That's what I do because I'd rather trust the block explorer than anything else, and you can get the supply right here. You can also go to Midgard. These guys are awesome. Let's Pulsechain and type it in here. They're a little bit more better with the UI and stuff like that. And supply right here. But these guys aren't that accurate because they're still indexing the chain, and it takes a couple of years for that kind of stuff. But it does show you the top holders and a nice little chart right there, and a whole bunch of stuff. So Midgard.wtf, yeah, they're a cool explorer. But yeah, that's the only place I would go for the supply at all. Otherwise, you can see the supply that's in the liquidity pool right there, but not the total supply. And there's 112.43 trillion in there. So yeah, there's quadrillions of these tokens, right? So scan. We go back to that. Midgards. I go back between 3 or 4 of them. There's also the Keck Explorer. This is the if you don't know this one, they're still indexing. 51% of the blocks indexed, so all the information's not completely accurate, but it gives you a basic idea. And it does. This one does show you some cool stuff with the holders, uh, if they're contracts and stuff like that. Like it does do the domain names. It's cool. But yeah, there's 100 million, billion, trillion, quadrillion, 154 quadrillion, and still climbing probably. So yeah, if you look at the holders, the biggest holder is got 3.5% of the supply. So yeah, that's probably got all that for free too. So just saying. Um, what is up, Frank White? Nice of you to stop by. Bang bang, Pulse Gang, Pulse Chain. But yeah, that's where you can see the supply. I would just go there. You can also, another thing. Let me show you Midgard right here is the tools. If you want to scan a token, you go down to the Midgard AI scanner, and right here you put the token scanner in here and you analyze the token, and it'll do its little analysis down here, show you if it's mintable, if anything, it's pretty cool. Any token right there. It's better than this one, quickintel.io. This one reads weird stuff on Pulsechain. Yeah, but then it tells you it's got a mint start bonus, it's got a mint end bonus, and mint good accounting. So, tells you some good stuff. And then suspicious patterns, medium risk token. But yeah, it's just a token analyzer. Unlike Quick Intel, is just screw those guys. Anyways, back to the charts. But yeah, that looks like I would wait for a couple more candles, man. But this could be getting pulled up by Hex right now because Hex is just going right. So a weird thing now that I think about this is Calm is going up while Hex has been moving sideways and down, right? So that was a little dumperoony thing from the dumper, and now it's outperforming Hex in a way. So you have to keep that in mind too. But I'd wait for a couple confirmation candles because that looks like a breakout candle to me. Yeah, a little too wicky for me. Let's go back to Hex and look at that. Let's put this on my watch list before I do that. There it is. Put that on the main watch list. Go back to Hex and see what that candle looks like. It's looking a little wicky. No, see, it's not looking wicky. So that tells me that Hex pulled Calm up, right? And people are probably starting to look. Calm's adjusting to other liquidity pools and vice versa, but it's going to sell Calm more than the Hex. So yeah, because which one's stronger? We'll just look at the liquidity pools. So yeah, there's that. I would wait. Um, it could U up like that and break more if it's still bullish. Um, wow. Let's go to the daily on that one. And that perfectly hit the top over here, so that would make a cup, and probably going to have a handle or something like that. If it's going higher, it'll have a handle, and it'll be in a channel, everything. But yeah, that's a good point. Take profits if you got it on Calm, because you just keep getting it for free. Let's look at PTGC. Got 10 more minutes. It looks like it broke out of that little triangle. It's staying above it. It's retesting it. It's looking pretty. I made my money on this thing. I almost want to buy back in. But I'll probably leave it for you guys because everything else is kind of tied to it. Axis is tied to it. Solid X is tied to it. So it's like, I'll just leave it alone as far as that. Oink. Got this airdropped through Emit, but it seems like it's doing good. This is high risk. I don't think it's been audited or anything, but that's pretty cool. That popped up a long ass time ago. And the only reason why it's on my radar is because of the chart, and it got airdropped through the Emit Telegram. It's got a farm over there and everything. So that's the only reason why I put this on my watch list. Just look at that. But high risk, 100K market cap. Look at it on the Wrap Pulse. I mean, nice little $10, $20 play if you want. I don't know. You can look at it on the log. Yeah. Anyways, it looks like it's doing pretty good on the Wrap Pulse one. Rhino Fi, newly launched like a week ago. Looks like it's getting down there. We'll see if it holds the floor right here. They probably want to hold a 5555 floor. So let's set that for these guys, right? Let's set it. They probably want a 5555. Let's just put a bunch of fives in there and go, okay. That's probably the floor they want to hold. I don't know. That's higher than where it was. So maybe not. Maybe just fives. Um, but let's just put it down to five then, or close enough. Let's just see. But by the laws of meme coins and blah 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 blah, it's only 63. I would. I already put my line at 80. So I don't know. We'll see. This does have a charging wallet every 28 days or something like that, so it could just go up. We'll see. We'll see what it does. I still don't own any. Um, I want to see. Could be pretty bullish. Yeah. Look at yield token you earn. It just keeps going down. But look at the market cap on this thing. I mean, you could skyrocket it if you bought this thing, but it's mintable. So yeah, that is Function Island's new yield token. And I was gonna talk about strategies with Yep here probably next episode. I want to go through the strategies of what you can do with Yep and stuff and not do a TA video, but we'll see. Let's go to the spec chart and look at Mooney real quick. It looks like it's just going flat. All right. Looks like pump and dump right there. That looks like a moving flat still. God, why does Mooney look like a pump and dump so bad? Like, but if you wanted to take a little bit right here, you could. Like, just to get everybody's attention, I think they did. You know what I mean? So yeah, your mom. I think it's a little. I think she's a little topped out because you know why? Because your dad is a little undervalued at 7K market cap or 8K market cap. My bad, 8.7, and she's a million. They do say women are higher valued and men got to bring it to the table, but yeah. Anyways, both pump tires tokens. Let's add this to the speculation. Because we got to keep track of your dad and your mom. Let's look at zero. It's just moving sideways. We're just in a holding pattern, guys. Teddy Claire just moving sideways. I don't own any more of this anymore. I, yeah, it was like a quick flip for me. Kind of broke even, really, but yeah. Teddy Bear, it's just moving sideways, guys. Like we're in a holding pattern. Like everybody's waiting for this marketing to come up, but we shall see, man. Big things are in the pipeline, so it looks like we're pretty well set up. But look at Sparta; it's about to break out to the upside. Didn't quite meet my target though, so we'll see. We'll see. Touche. Top at. Ooh, it's holding that line, guys. Look at that. Oops. We're gonna have to break above that red wick though in order to. We still got till August, man. We're good there. Just delete that line. Top hat's looking pretty good, and I don't own any of these damn coins on this watch list. Just to let you know. Yeah, I covered projects I'm not in. Like just for the hell of it, let's look at Finvesta. It's been doing pretty good. Yeah, it's in the buy zone. Looks like it's going to go below the buy zone. We shall see there. PFF. Looks like it left the buy zone. If I knew more about this ecosystem, I probably would have threw a lottery ticket in it, but I didn't do my research. And after this pump right here, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm really good because all these red candles right here are from the guys buying right there, or right back here. So I'm good. I'm okay missing stuff. P copies. Yeah, you gotta mention the P copy. Look, it's still doing all right. It's not as high as a Tropa. Not as high as that, but it's high risk. High risk. Yeah. I'm not in. Well, I guess I do have some P dye left. Like $5 worth. I just forgot about somewhere. I might. I don't know. But, I wouldn't suggest buying it at all. Unless some magical fairy comes along and pegs it to $1. Just doesn't look that bullish. Looks like it could go up a little. Well, a Tropa could pull it up, I guess. But, yeah, but the volume's trailing off down here. That's not a good sign. So a Tropa would have to moon in order to moon this. So yeah, I think that liquidity's burnt. So yeah, all the P copies are a little risky, but it is a dream. And if you wanted to buy every P copy for $1, just put $1 in every single one of them, and you never know, you might win. Not financial advice. None of this is. It's just me rambling on the internet. And if you like Mr. Brightlight rambling, go over to YouTube, hit like, subscribe. I'll see you again. And with all that being said, guys, I think we're really bullish, and we're just in a holding pattern on Pulsechain. Let's see if Bitcoin hits this wick. This is the wrap BTC, the real wrap BTC bridge to Pulsechain chart. Let's see if it hits that wick and goes down, because then we know that top 138. You never know, guys. And I like this scrubhead. I'm in it for the Yep strategies. You guys want to see a video on that? Because I have maybe three good strategies to earn yield over yield over yield. Yeah, you might spread your liquidity out a little thin, but you'll have bets in multiple places. Look at them like farming lottery tickets that just earn yield. So I might do that before I take off for the month. I got a bathroom to remodel, and it's kind of a necessary remodel. So it's not like just do it remodel, So yeah, and I'm doing all that work myself. So yeah, with that said, guys, I think I'm done for the day. And if you like Richard right there, I hope he gets agreeable one day, and I hope he pumps it 10x and then comes out and go, ha! Now all you mother effers gotta buy the top. That said, guys, peace out. And I'll see you next week for those Yep strategies. I'm going to write it down on a piece of paper and do that. Peace out.
No permissions, birth looked up, taking flight for knows dissidence, balance in dark and light, steadying the agreeable index plight, crypto tuning up, yup, keeping it right. agreeable, intense. One on a Pulsechain's pride, opening those minds with all the positivity, marching in its time, cadence in the grind, agree to disagree. Yep. I thought of timing, meet up hits it right, freedom and prosperity, the destination and the flight. Lighting up Dad's farm, opposed to that nope rule, firing up them charts, yeah, flying straight and true.